Lovers of knowledge and people of the sun, what this generation failed woefully to comprehend about the church is that they are deeply indoctrinated and brainwashed not to know that the church is made up of ancient pagan worship. It is nothing else but an advanced paganism. Let us start with where the Vatican Church is built today. Where the Vatican Church is standing right now as I speak to you, there was once a huge pagan shrine named the Roman Imperial Cult. This was also known as the Roman bureaucracy or red tapeism. I will explain. It was a cult built during the time of Julius Caesar, around 49 BCE. It is aimed at venerating and deifying all Roman emperors of the Roman Empire, both the past and the present ones, to the status of a god. Which was why, during the Roman Empire, all religions were allowed to operate within the empire, but they have one criteria to operate. They must have a statue of the Caesar as a god in their temples. All Roman emperors since the time of Julius Caesar were members of the imperial courts. Pay attention to this. You see, the pagan chief priest of the Roman imperial court of Rome, before the establishment of Catholicism and Christianity, was given the name Pontifex Maximus. And the Pontifex Maximus was the Roman emperor. And the Roman emperor was the head of the Roman imperial courts. This was the same name they later changed to Pope. Now, all the dressing styles, the rituals, and the symbols of the Roman imperial courts were all incorporated into the Catholic Church in Christianity. The early bishops of the Catholic Church were members of the Roman imperial courts. It was in the Council of Nicaea of 325 AD and during the reign of Pope Julius I, around 350 AD, the Catholic Church totally Christianized all pagan religions in Rome in order to Christianize the pagans to be Christians. This is why many of their doctrines in Christianity is not different from ancient pagan practice. This was very important and necessary in Rome in order to unify the Roman Empire. Because during the reign of Emperor Constantine, starting from 312 AD, there were religious crises that almost destroyed the Roman Empire between the Christians and the pagans. You see, in the year 380 AD, through the Edict of Thessalonica, under Emperor Theodosius, Christianity was declared the only state religion, while Catholicism, that is the Catholic Church, became the only recognized church in the Roman Empire. There are churches you will see in Rome. Above is Jesus and Mary, but below is an Egyptian Isis and her child Horus or Heru. You're going to see Aphrodite. You're going to see Zeus, Apollo below, and other ancient pagan gods and goddesses. It is outrightly obvious that the Roman Empire did not vanish. It is still in existence. The Catholic Church is the Roman Empire today. Are you aware? This is why many of the popes committed unspeakable atrocities, because all the Roman emperors are embodied into one person called the Catholic Pope. Lovers of knowledge and people of the sun, Christianity was invented by the Flavian family in Rome to totally destroy the Jewish Messianic movement that had become rebellious to the Roman Empire. The Roman army invaded the Jews and conquered them in Judea around 70 AD under General Titus, son of General Vespasian of the Flavian family. Go and do your research. The Jews believed that a powerful Messiah will liberate them from Roman colonization, totalitarianism, autocracy, and authoritarianism. To know that the Romans were the ones who deliberately invented Jesus the Christ and Christianity, one must start asking, why were the Gospels called Gospels? Now let me teach you something. The word gospel in Greek simply means evangelion, which means good news of military victory. Whose military victory are we celebrating? Ask yourself that question. Whose military victory are we celebrating? Let me educate you. It was the military victory of the Roman army over the Jewish Messianic movement in Judea around 70 AD under General Titus, son of General Vespasian of the Flavian family. Ask yourself again, why were the New Testament Gospels written in Greek and not in Hebrew or Aramaic when they were written? Why is the religion centered in Rome? And why does the Gospels have a pro-Roman perspective? For instance, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Who are the Caesars? You and I know that the Caesars are the Roman emperors. What are they giving? Taxes. Because the Jewish Messianic movement in Judea, that is the Jewish people in Judea, refused to pay their tax because of the prophecy that they received that a time will come, a warlike Messiah will come into existence to liberate them from Roman totalitarianism and autocracy. The fact is that the Jews were anticipating for a warlike Messiah, as was written in their prophetic book in their temples. But the Messiah the Romans invented was a peace-loving and turn the other cheek Messiah. The fact is that the Romans under the Flavians wanted the Jewish Messianic movement destroyed. So what did they do? They created a different form of Judaism called Christianity. And they wrote new gospels by copying ancient mythology and spirituality of a Christ who existed in ancient people's mythology, such as Horus or Heru. This particular personality was the first in ancient spirituality and paganism to be born through an immaculate conception, and was the first to walk on water, to feed thousands of people with few loaves of bread and fish, to have 12 disciples, to walk on water, to die and resurrect. The Romans had access to these ancient screws and mythology of the ancient Egyptians because, of course, the Romans, they were in charge of the world during this time. So they had families that were tax collectors. In Egypt, they had the Alexander family, who were tax collectors to the Roman Empire. It was the Alexander family who submitted the spirituality and the mythology of the Egyptians of a dying and resurrecting Christ in ancient pagan belief known as Horus or Herus or Heru. They gave the mythology of the Egyptians to the Flavian family, and they started writing the New Testament gospel to invent a peace-loving Messiah. You see, for those of you who are still waiting for hard copies of the books, I want to tell you that for now there is no hard copy. The hard copy is very expensive, and the only place you can get hard copy is Amazon and eBay, which is why I have made it into soft copy PDF in order for my African brothers and sisters to have access to this knowledge. We have the 16 crucified Christ before Jesus. This book will open your eyes to tell you that before they started writing the story of Jesus 2,000 years ago, there is a story of a dying and resurrecting Christ who is not Jesus, recorded in ancient pagan mythology. We have the Egyptian books of the dead and the papyrus of Ani, which is the first holy book in the world before the Bible and before the Quran. We have The African Origin of Civilization and The Untold History of the Black Race and the Fall of African Civilization. These books and more will open your eyes to understand the true history of Christianity and religions in the world. I remain my humble self, Ebenezer Heru, the voice of the untold history of the Black race. I say,